All right, this is a random February day, 2026 DBQ mini workshop where we're gonna hammer out what we call the skull and body parts, and talk about happy a little bit for the kind of the first time, and how your happy historical context and your outside evidence all come from the same pile. All right, so first thing I do want y'all to draw along with this. Draw your skull and bones at the bottom. We've already broken down the docs for the Qing collapse. All right. And the elements that I'm going to have you do, let's be able to name them all, what the elements are, because I'm going to add this to the quiz. All right, we need our category. There's always going to be a category. There's going to be a spice T, internal, external, change, continuity. There's always something. So in this particular one, it's foreign, and I might have 2 F's and an I, whatever. This is called the category, or it's spice T. And then I want the arrow. Is it down, down, up? Is it down, up, up? I don't know. You decide. So that's 2 things we need. Then we need the dough ball. We're not looking for it to get rolled out like you will in the thesis, where you're like, widespread frustration. No, let's just do right now. We need that dough ball of like weak gov. That's the dough ball. See, we got 3 things here. Arrow, category, dough ball. Could be poverty, could be famine. See how these are dough balls that you would massage out a little more when you actually write your thesis? And then the 4th thing we need is the doc numbers. Well, which docs were internal weak gov? Maybe it's like doc 3 and 6. I don't know what they were. I can't remember. But I need to see these 4 things. Arrow, category, broad category, more specific dough ball that goes with that category, and then the actual doc numbers. That's what we need. See that? That's what we're looking for, all 4 things. Now let's talk real quick about, so don't do that right now. Just know what you need here in a second where I'll leave you on your own. Let's talk about historical context and happy and how easy it is, or this one's actually point of view. Go find the one with Karl Marx. Did you find the one with Karl Marx? Did anybody pick up on that? Did anybody's like tingle inside and like, it's Karl Marx? That's a great example of how they will fish for you. They're just fishing. Are you like a dummy from, I won't say an actual school today since it's on camera. Are you a dummy from another school, not ours, where they're like, when you read Karl Marx, it never even flinches in your brain? Or are you somebody they're like fishing, like, what's something about the author? Write it. Find what doc number that is. What doc number is it? I can't remember. What is it? 2, right? Karl Marx. Write Marx. Don't write his whole name. Just write Marx in the happy. What do you know about him? What do you know about him? This is point of view. What do you know about the author? What's famous about him? He is the father of communism. So watch, this is what a happy would look like. It's worth noting that the author is the father of communism. All right? And then you can't just name drop. They won't give you credit for that. Go ahead and define it. Look at us do a real happy right here. Communism was or is blah, 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 blah. We define it all the time. Do your best. And then you just try. Hail Mary press. Well, how does this matter to my argument here and what's going on, Just have some fun. Just give it a shot. This matters because he hates capitalism and hates the West and everything it stands for and isn't afraid to tell the truth about how the West is taking advantage of these places like other white people might not want to say at this time. See what I did right there? And that would go in a body paragraph about maybe like how Western economic imperialism is one of the main causes of foreign causes of collapse. Does that make sense? See that? See what we did there? All right, now, last thing to do here. When you break, let's do another one. What about the picture with the tiger getting cut in pieces by Whitey? There's a vocab word that they're just begging you. Well, more specific. Somebody said it. Spheres of influence. So go find the one with the tiger picture. And now this time, if it's a time period thing, it's worth noting this was happening during the time of spheres of influence. And then you would define it, the best you could. All right. I want you, as your bullet, if it's a historical context one, for your bullet, I want you to do a little black triangle. Why? Because that represents a poop pile. All right. On your note paper, let's skip to your note paper now. I want you to try to draw a poop pile the best you can. A little swirl. All right. And I want you to write context. I want you to write happy, but bold the H. Make sure the H is clearly bolded. Underline it even. The historical context from happy. And then write outside evidence. These three things come from the same poop pile. So it'll actually help you now moving forward. I've never made you do happy. I'm like, let's focus on column 1 and 3. But now moving forward, if you think of something like, hey, this is during the sphere of influence time. Draw a little black triangle that represents a turd pile and write like sphere of influence. But don't write it out, just a note to yourself. S of I. Or maybe you put like box reb. Or maybe you put like, hey, the government's so weak because of Taiping rebellions, Civil War or something. You see what we're doing here? And when you're done, when you go to brainstorm your context for the actual paper, these can help you be like, hey, I can use some of these. And you got to make the tough decision because you cannot cross-pollinate here. You can't, whatever you put, maybe you talk about how the Boxer Rebellion had weakened them or whatever, then you can't use it as a happy because it comes from the same poop pile. Does that make sense to you? And so you got to make tough decisions like, I don't even really like my happies, so I'm going to use like these two plus IR for my context. And like, I don't have another tappy, so I'm going to use this bad boy as my outside evidence, which is one of the easier points where you find a paragraph where it fits and you're like, you basically just do an SAQ. You know, a key piece of outside evidence, let the judge know you're about to try. A key piece of outside evidence that supports this is blank, Taiping Rebellion. The Taiping Rebellion was blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to connect it to that body paragraph. Maybe this body paragraph's about the government being weak. This shows how the government, after the loss of like 20 million people, had gotten so weak. People were so frustrated. Does that make sense to you? But you got to make these decisions. You can't use Taiping Rebellion as outside evidence and then try to use it as a happy. For like, this was worth noting, this was happening during the time shortly after the Taiping Rebellion. You got to make that decision. And if you use it in the context, you can't use it for either of them. Does that make sense? All right, so all I want you to do today, and people that are doing this later, fourth block and tomorrow, main thing, we're not even going to plan our whole paper, but I want to see this for your paper. I want to see all four things. Arrows, category, dough ball, and doc numbers. Let's try 5. I think 5 is a good number. Try to use 5 docs. Anything less than that, you're really endangering getting points. Try to force 5 doc uses. You don't need to do all 7. So I want to see this, and then maybe glance at the happy and be like, can I brainstorm like something that goes with this, like sphere of influence, or he's the father of communism? All right, that's it. Thank you.